I'm Andy. I teach folklore and mythology. Welcome back to Tantalizing Myths. So, to catch up on things, Prometheus stole fire, got put in bondage without a safe word, apples, and Zeus starts his overly complicated and indirect grand revenge scheme against Prometheus and mankind. This entails creating the most interesting woman in the world. You know the meme. And giving her a jar full of evils. At the bottom of that jar is hope. Throughout the various versions of the story, it's agreed that Hope doesn't escape, whether it's because Pandora put the lid back on to stop it from escaping, or in Hesiod's version, Hope got stuck under the rim of the great jar and did not fly out at the door. So Hope didn't get out of the jar. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, it depends. One way to look at it is that Hope remains trapped inside. Hesiod's take on it is that but the rest, countless plagues, wander amongst men, implying that hope is not wandering with us. So we have no hope. Hesiod, depressing AF. Though I'm actually surprised he didn't go so far as to have Pandora murder Hope. Pandora in the kitchen with a revolver. So, Hesiod goes the false hope route. However, other versions of the story comment, as long as hope remains, we can bear all the other ills that may befall us. This version implies that hope stays with people forever, whereas the evils are of a temporary nature and that hope allows them to endure and overcome the evils. Which is it? Do we have hope or only a false hope? Is hope a thing that helps us through the evils, or is it there to make us think we can get through them, but just suffer more? Linguistically, scholarly translators go back and forth all the time on the exact definition and context surrounding the Greek word elpis. Graves even translates his sources, mostly Hesiod, as delusive hope, however, whom Prometheus had also shut in the jar, discouraged them by her lies from a general suicide. That is a hope that deludes us into thinking we can overcome. Because we're not depressed, we won't kill ourselves. I tell you, Hesiod is not a glass half full kind of guy. No, Hesiod is a glass will be used by a woman to cut out your heart kind of guy. However, I'd like to tackle this narratively from the perspective of the story structure. First, we have to ask, whether put there by Prometheus or by Zeus, why is hope in the jar in the first place? If this is a kind of false hope, some kind of evil thing, then it deserves a place inside the jar. It's appropriate for it to be there. But if that's the case and it didn't escape, it doesn't roam among the people and would not affect us. If it is there as a continuation of punishment, then we managed to dodge that bullet. Everything could have been worse. But if this is the hope that remains with us and allows humanity to bear all of the other ills that may befall us, why is it in there? Prometheus, all benevolent trickster that Hesiod imagines him to be, wouldn't do something like that. He would have brought hope to be among us, or at least not stashed in a jar with all the bad stuff. If Zeus did it, and this is about punishing humanity, well, why put it in the jar in the first place? It literally doesn't belong with the evils. If the point is to make humanity suffer, why would Zeus give them hope? So, narratively, Prometheus putting hope in makes the least sense. Zeus makes more sense in that respect. What we have to examine more closely is Zeus's motive for putting hope in. It could be to extend humanity's suffering, but I have another explanation when we do a deep dive on Zeus's ultimately overcomplicated and indirect grand revenge scheme against Prometheus and mankind. It's really a Rube Goldberg plan. Thanks for watching.